The late afternoon sun hit the row of townhouses like a spotlight. The grass was neat, the fences straight, and the whole neighborhood looked quiet enough to be on a postcard. But inside this calm little street, something was about to explode. Marcus Johnson had lived in the neighborhood for only 3 months. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and carried himself with the calm of a man who had seen far worse than lawn disputes and parking tickets. A retired Army Special Forces sergeant, Marcus wore his camouflage jacket often, not as a show but as a comfort. To him, it wasn't military fashion. It was a reminder of brothers lost overseas, of long nights under foreign skies. He never expected that a simple jacket would stir so much anger. One Saturday, Marcus was trimming his small lawn when he heard a sharp voice behind him. "Excuse me, you can't wear that here." Marcus turned, squinting into the sunlight. Standing there was Karen Whitfield, head of the HOA. She was in her mid-50s, with a stiff haircut and a clipboard tucked under her arm like it was a weapon. "Ma'am?" Marcus asked politely. "That," she said, pointing at his jacket. "That military camouflage. It's not appropriate for our community. It gives the wrong impression. We have standards here." Marcus paused. "This jacket? It's mine. I served in it." Karen folded her arms. "This isn't an army base. This is a family neighborhood. People don't want to feel intimidated by someone dressing like that." Marcus took a breath. He had learned long ago not to react too quickly. "With respect, ma'am, this isn't a costume. I earned this. I wear it because it matters to me." Karen's voice grew sharper. "I don't care what it means to you. We have rules. If you want to live here, you'll need to follow them. Take it off." For a moment, silence hung in the air. A couple of neighbors peeked from their windows. A kid across the street stopped bouncing his basketball and stared. Marcus's jaw tightened. "I won't take it off. Not here, not anywhere. Not for you." Karen's cheeks flushed. She scribbled something on her clipboard. "Then you'll be hearing from the HOA board. Believe me, this will not stand." Marcus went back to his lawn, refusing to give her the satisfaction of a fight. But inside, his heart beat heavy. He had faced enemy fire overseas, but this felt different. This was supposed to be his home. That evening, Marcus sat on his porch, staring at the jacket folded beside him. His phone buzzed with a message from his old friend and teammate, David Hawk Hawkins. "Yo, brother. How's civilian life treating you?" Marcus typed back slowly. "Not as quiet as I hoped." A moment later, Hawk replied, "Need me to round up the boys?" Marcus chuckled, shaking his head. The boys were no ordinary friends. They were members of his old Special Forces unit, men who had bled together, saved each other, and built a bond stronger than family. He didn't want to bother them. Not yet. The next day, Marcus received an official letter from the HOA. It was short and cold. "You are in breach of community standards for wearing inappropriate attire, military camouflage, in public spaces. Failure to comply will result in fines and possible legal action." Marcus read it twice, then folded it. His hand trembled with a mix of anger and disbelief. He walked outside and found Karen waiting, as if she knew when the letter would arrive. "Well?" she asked, smirking. Marcus locked eyes with her. "Ma'am, I fought for this country. I bled for it. And you're telling me I can't wear the jacket that reminds me of that? No, I'm not bowing to this nonsense." Karen's smile faltered. "Then prepare for consequences." Marcus stepped closer, lowering his voice. "You have no idea what kind of consequences you're inviting." That night, Marcus sat at his kitchen table, staring at his phone. He thought about staying quiet, just paying the fines. But the image of Karen's smug smile burned in his mind. She wasn't just targeting him. She was disrespecting every soldier who had worn that uniform. Finally, he opened his group chat, the one he hadn't touched in months. "Marcus, brothers, I need you." Within seconds, replies lit up the screen. "Hawk, say the word." "Reyes, always ready." "Doc, where we headed?" "Stone, who we need to talk to." Marcus typed, "Homeowners Association." "Long story. Need backup." The responses came fast. Hawk, "We'll be there." Reyes, "Tomorrow night." Stone, "Let's make it a visit they won't forget." Marcus leaned back in his chair. For the first time all week, he smiled. If you believe no veteran should ever be disrespected for their service, share this story, speak up, stand with those who stood for you, As the night grew quiet, Marcus felt a weight lift. Tomorrow, his brothers would stand by him again. And Karen, Whitfield would learn that some battles can't be won with clipboards and rules. This wasn't just about a jacket anymore. It was about respect. It was about honor. And Marcus was ready for war. The next evening, the quiet neighborhood looked the same on the surface. Kids played on the sidewalk, sprinklers watered lawns, and porch lights flicked on as the sun dipped behind the trees. But inside Marcus's home, a storm was gathering. Marcus paced his living room, checking the clock every few minutes. His hands were steady, but his mind was racing. He hadn't seen his unit together in years. Civilian life had scattered them across the country. But one message had brought them back. That was the bond they shared. At exactly 7 p.m., a dark SUV rolled up to the curb. The first to step out was Hawk. His real name was David Hawkins, but nobody called him that. He was tall and lean, with sharp eyes that seemed to read everything at once. "Brother!" Hawk said, wrapping Marcus in a bear hug. "Man, it's good to see you." "You too, Hawk," Marcus said, his voice heavy with emotion. Moments later, 2 more cars pulled up. Out came Reyes, short, stocky, always smiling, and Doc, the team's medic, who carried a calmness that balanced out the others. Then there was Stone, the quiet giant. He didn't speak much, but when he did, people listened. The 5 men stood in a circle on Marcus's front lawn, the same way they had stood in dusty deserts and jungle camps years ago. For a moment, no words were needed. Finally, Hawk broke the silence. "So tell us about this situation." Marcus filled them in. The jacket, the confrontation, the violation notice. Every detail. As he spoke, their expressions hardened. Reyes shook his head. "Man, after everything we've done for this country, this woman thinks she can tell you not to wear your own jacket? That's cold." Doc added softly, "It's more than cold. It's disrespect. And if she thinks she can get away with it once, she'll keep pushing." Stone's voice rumbled low. "So what's the plan?" Marcus took a deep breath. "I don't want to cause trouble. I don't want to fight. But I'm not backing down. This isn't just about me. It's about respect for all of us." Hawk nodded slowly. "Then we stand with you. Whatever comes next, we're here." As they spoke, a shadow moved across the sidewalk. Karen Whitfield herself was on patrol, clipboard in hand, like a sheriff in a town that hadn't asked for one. She froze when she saw the group of men outside Marcus's home. Her eyes narrowed. "What is going on here?" Marcus turned calmly. "Evening, ma'am." Karen's gaze flicked from Marcus to Hawk to Stone to the others. She frowned. "Who are these people? This is a quiet neighborhood. We don't allow gatherings." Reyes chuckled under his breath. "Gatherings. Lady, we're just saying hello." Karen stiffened. "This is a private community. You can't just bring in outsiders." Hawk stepped forward, his voice smooth but edged with steel. "Outsiders? These men are his family. The same family that kept this country safe so you could enjoy your pretty lawns." Karen blinked, taken aback, but quickly recovered. "I don't care what you call yourselves. Rules are rules, and Marcus here is breaking them." Doc folded his arms. "Sometimes rules are wrong." Karen's lips pressed into a thin line. "If you gentlemen think you can intimidate me, you're mistaken. I'll be calling an emergency HOA meeting tomorrow, and Mr. Johnson, you'll be expected to attend. If you don't, there will be fines, and possibly eviction." With that, she turned on her heel and stormed off. The group stood silent for a moment, watching her disappear down the street. Reyes whistled. "Man, she really doesn't know what she's walking into." Marcus sighed. "I don't want this to get ugly. But she's pushing me into a corner." Stone finally spoke, his voice like gravel. "Then we show up tomorrow. Not to fight, just to stand by you. Let her see who she's messing with." Hawk grinned. "I like that. Calm, professional, unshakable. That's how we always rolled." Marcus nodded slowly. "All right. Tomorrow we face the board." That night, the 5 men sat around Marcus's dining table, sharing stories from the past. Laughter mixed with quiet moments of memory. They remembered brothers they had lost, the missions that had nearly broken them, the victories that had felt hollow at the time. At one point, Reyes looked at Marcus. "You know what this is, don't you?" "What?" Marcus asked. Reyes leaned forward. "This is just another mission. Different battlefield, same principle. Protect your ground. Stand tall. Never back down. Marcus felt a lump rise in his throat. He nodded, grateful for the reminder. The next day, word spread fast through the neighborhood. The HOA was holding an emergency meeting. Residents whispered about the military men seen outside Marcus's house. Some were curious, some nervous, and a few were excited to see Karen finally meet her match. By 6 o'clock, the clubhouse was packed. Folding chairs scraped across the floor. Neighbors fanned themselves with papers, and Karen stood at the front, her clipboard ready like a sword. Marcus walked in with Hawk, Reyes, Doc, and Stone right behind him. The room fell silent. People straightened in their chairs. The sight of 5 veterans standing tall together carried a weight no one could ignore. Karen cleared her throat, her voice sharp. "We are here to address a violation of our community standards. Mr. Marcus, Johnson has repeatedly worn inappropriate military attire that violates the HOA dress code. This is a matter of order and respect for our neighborhood." Marcus raised his hand calmly. "May I speak?" Karen hesitated. Briefly. Marcus stepped forward, his voice steady. "This jacket I wear, it isn't fashion. It isn't rebellion. It's a piece of my history. It's a reminder of men who never made it home. I wear it because it matters, because it honors them. And no rule, no clipboard, no fine will make me erase that." Murmurs spread through the crowd. Some neighbors nodded. Others frowned, unsure. Karen banged her gavel. "This is not about feelings. This is about rules. And rules are what keep this neighborhood safe." Hawk suddenly stood. "Safe? You think clipboards and fines keep people safe?" "No, ma'am. Men like him do. Men like all of us. While you slept peacefully in your bed, we stood watch in places you've never heard of. Against enemies you'll never know," Stone added in his deep voice. "You're free to write your rules because we gave you that freedom. Don't forget it." The room went silent again. Karen's face turned red. She gripped her gavel tighter, but her eyes darted nervously across the crowd. For the first time, she realized the room wasn't fully on her side. If you're proud of our veterans and believe no HOA or person should silence them, share this story now. Let their voices be heard. Karen tried to regain control. "This is highly inappropriate. You cannot hijack this meeting with speeches." Marcus looked directly at her. "No, ma'am. What's inappropriate is telling a veteran that the uniform he served in is not welcome in his own neighborhood." The crowd erupted, half in applause, half in gasps. The battle lines were drawn, and the climax was yet to come. The clubhouse buzzed like a hive. Some neighbors whispered to each other. Others stared at Marcus and his team as if they were seeing something out of a movie. Karen's knuckles whitened as she gripped the gavel. "This meeting is not a free-for-all," she snapped. "Mr. Johnson, you are in violation. The rules state that military clothing is not allowed because it makes the neighborhood appear unsafe." A man in the back stood up. He was middle-aged, wearing a baseball cap. "Unsafe? Are you serious? My son's in the Marines. Every time I see a uniform, I feel proud, not scared." Several people clapped. Karen banged the gavel again. "Order!" This is not the time for random comments, but the energy in the room had shifted. Marcus could feel it. People were no longer quietly siding with Karen. They were questioning her. Marcus stepped forward again, his voice low but firm. "Ma'am, with respect, you keep saying rules, but rules without reason aren't justice. They're just control." Karen's face turned a deeper shade of red. "Control is exactly what keeps this place desirable. Without order, property values drop. And I, for one, will not let this community fall apart because someone refuses to follow simple guidelines." Hawk leaned toward Marcus and muttered, "She's not even talking about safety anymore. It's money." "That's her game." Marcus nodded. "I hear it." Reyes couldn't hold back. He stood up and faced the crowd. "Let me ask all of you something. Do you really want to live in a place where a veteran can be punished for wearing the jacket he served in? Is that the kind of neighborhood you're proud of?" A murmur of agreement swept the room. Karen slammed the gavel again. "Sit down or you'll be removed." Stone's deep voice rolled over the noise. "Removed by who?" The room went quiet. Stone wasn't shouting, but his presence alone was like thunder. He wasn't threatening, just stating a fact. Nobody doubted that if someone tried to drag Reyes out, it wouldn't end well. Karen's eyes darted from face to face, searching for support, but she found none. The HOA secretary, a timid woman named Ellen, cleared her throat. Karen, maybe we should reconsider this rule. It doesn't seem fair. Karen whipped around. Ellen! Ellen! You of all people should understand why rules must be followed. Ellen's voice wavered, but she stood her ground. I do understand rules, but I also understand respect, and Mr. Johnson deserves that. The crowd erupted in applause. Karen's face twisted in frustration. This is not how this works, she barked. The HOA board decides, not the crowd. Hawk whispered to Marcus. She's losing control. Marcus nodded but kept his focus. I'll tell you how this works, he said, raising his voice just enough to carry. A neighborhood is more than fences and lawns. It's people. It's respect. And if we can't respect the men and women who gave everything for this country, then maybe we don't deserve the peace we live in. The applause grew louder this time, spreading across the room until it drowned out Karen's attempts to gavel it down. Karen tried one last time to assert herself. This is outrageous. If you people don't let me enforce the rules, then this community will descend into chaos. Reyes grinned. Chaos? Lady, you have no idea what chaos looks like. This? He waved a hand at the peaceful crowd. This is called freedom. Doc finally spoke up, his voice calm but steady. Karen, you think Marcus is the problem. But the truth is you are. You've forgotten that rules are supposed to serve people, not the other way around. Karen froze, her gavel trembling in her hand. For the first time, she looked unsure. Then a voice rang out from the back. A young woman stood up, holding a toddler on her hip. Mr. Johnson, my husband's deployed right now. If anyone ever told him he couldn't wear his uniform in public, I'd be furious. Thank you for standing up. The room filled with cheers. Marcus's throat tightened. He wasn't used to this kind of open support. On the battlefield, recognition didn't matter. But here in this quiet room, it meant everything. He raised a hand for silence. I appreciate all of you, but this isn't just about me. It's about every veteran, every family, every sacrifice. If you believe no one should be told to hide their service, then stand with me. One by one, neighbors rose from their chairs. First a handful, then a dozen. Then the whole room, except for Karen. Karen looked around, her eyes wide, her authority slipping like sand through her fingers. This meeting is adjourned, she shouted, slamming the gavel down so hard it cracked. Then she stormed out of the clubhouse, her heels clicking furiously against the floor. The crowd erupted into chatter. People surrounded Marcus, shaking his hand, thanking him. Hawk, Reyes, Doc, and Stone stood back, proud but watchful. Reyes leaned in. Mission accomplished, brother. Marcus gave a faint smile. Not yet. She's not done. You saw her face. This isn't over. Hawk agreed. She's gonna try something else. Count on it. Stone's deep voice rumbled again. Then we'll be ready. Later that night, back at Marcus's house, the team sat around the table again. The mood was lighter, but Marcus couldn't shake the unease. She won't let this go, he said. Women like her, power's all they have. She'll find another angle. Hawk grinned. Good, let her try. She has no idea how strong you are with us behind you. Doc nodded. Remember, Marcus, you're not alone. Not anymore. Marcus looked at his brothers, men who had fought beside him through fire and blood, now sitting in his quiet kitchen. A sense of strength surged through him. Al... Right, he said. If she wants a war, she's got one. The room went silent, and then slowly they all nodded. The battle with Karen was far from over, but Marcus wasn't standing alone anymore. If you're reading this and you believe in standing up against unfair treatment, share this story. Speak out for respect. Stand tall for those who've served. Karen thought she could break a soldier with paperwork and fines, but she had no idea what it meant to face a man with brothers at his back. And the real showdown was only just beginning. Karen Whitfield didn't sleep that night. She sat at her kitchen table, papers spread around her like battle plans. She felt humiliated. Her authority had been challenged in front of the entire neighborhood. Worse, the crowd had applauded Marcus Johnson instead of her. No one defied Karen Whitfield. Not for long. By morning, she had a new plan. She picked up her phone and made a call. Yes, this is Karen Whitfield. I need to report a disturbance. There are dangerous men loitering in my neighborhood. Military types. They're intimidating residents. Her voice dripped with false concern. Yes, I'm very afraid for our safety. Later that afternoon, Marcus and his team were sitting on his porch when two police cruisers pulled up. Lights flashing, doors opening. Marcus stood slowly, hands out to show he wasn't a threat. Hawk, Reyes, Doc, and Stone rose too, their movements calm but sharp, the kind of discipline only years of training could teach. An officer approached cautiously. "We got a call about a situation. Claims of intimidation." Marcus kept his voice steady. "Officer, my friends and I are just sitting here. Nothing illegal, nothing threatening." The officer glanced at the group, then at Marcus's calm eyes. He seemed to relax a little. "Mind if I ask what's going on?" Before Marcus could answer, Karen stormed out of her house, waving her clipboard like a flag. "That's them! That's the group! They're scaring everyone! You need to remove them immediately." The officer frowned. "Ma'am, they're just sitting on a porch." "They're soldiers!" Karen snapped. "Look at them. It's dangerous. It's not normal," Reyes muttered under his breath. "Lady, you're not normal." The officer sighed. "Ma'am, unless they've broken a law, there's nothing we can do." "They have the right to be here." Karen's face burned red. "So you're just going to let them intimidate us?" "This is a respectable neighborhood." Marcus finally spoke. "Officer, I respect your time. We're not here to cause trouble, but I won't let anyone take away my right to wear the jacket I earned." The officer studied him for a moment, then nodded. "Understood. You gentlemen have a good evening." The cruisers pulled away, leaving Karen fuming on the curb. "This isn't over!" she shouted. "You'll regret this!" Back inside, Marcus rubbed his temples. "She just called the cops on us." "Next time, who knows what she'll do?" Hawk smirked. "Next time, maybe we invite the whole neighborhood over. Make it harder for her lies to stick." Doc shook his head. "She's not going to stop until she's humiliated completely. People like her only back down when the ground under their feet gives way." Stone spoke in his slow rumble. "Then maybe it's time we make that ground shake." Marcus thought for a moment. Then a plan began to form. The following Saturday, the neighborhood had its monthly community gathering at the park. A cookout, games for the kids, a chance for everyone to mingle. Karen had always used these events to strut her authority, but this time, she wasn't the center of attention. When Marcus and his brothers arrived, the energy shifted. Neighbors came over to shake their hands, thank them, and share stories of family members who had served. Kids asked questions, wide-eyed with curiosity. Marcus wore his camo jacket proudly. Hawk wore a unit cap. Reyes had his old service patch sewn on his sleeve. They weren't flaunting it. They were honoring it. Karen saw red. She stormed toward the group, voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "This is unacceptable. This event is for families, not military parades." The park went quiet. Dozens of eyes turned toward her. Marcus didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. "Karen, this is a jacket. This is my history. And this," he gestured to the families gathered, "this is the freedom we fought for." Karen jabbed a finger at him. "You think you're some kind of hero, but you're nothing but a bully hiding behind your little gang of soldiers." Hawk laughed sharply. "Gang? Lady, you have no idea who you're talking to." Reyes grinned. "Tell her, Hawk." Hawk stepped forward, his voice cutting clear. "Special Forces. United States Army, we don't bully. We protect. We don't threaten. We serve. And the only reason you can wave that clipboard around is because men like us stood watch while you slept." The crowd broke into applause. Some neighbors even stood. Karen's face twisted in rage. She screamed, "You're all trespassing on HOA property. You will be fined, every single one of you." Marcus met her eyes. "Go ahead, fine us. Write your papers. Call your meetings. But understand this, you can't scare us. You can't silence us. And you can't erase what we've done for this country." Karen opened her mouth to snap back, but before she could, a neighbor spoke up. It was Ellen, the timid secretary. Her voice was stronger this time. "Karen, enough. You've embarrassed this community. You've turned rules into weapons. This neighborhood is supposed to be about respect. And right now, the only one disrespecting people is you." Gasps spread through the crowd. Karen's jaw dropped. Ellen turned to Marcus. "Mr. Johnson, on behalf of many of us here, thank you for your service." "We stand with you." Cheers erupted. Neighbors clapped, shouted, and surrounded Marcus and his brothers in support. Karen, red-faced and shaking, realized she had lost control completely. Her voice cracked as she screamed, "You'll all regret this! I'll make sure of it." But her words were drowned out by the sound of applause and chants of, "Thank you." Marcus. Back at Marcus's house later that night, the men sat around the table again. "She's cornered now," Hawk said. "She'll either back down, or she'll do something desperate." Marcus nodded grimly. "She'll do something desperate." "Count on it." Doc leaned in. "Then we need to be ready, because when she makes her final move, we end this, once and for all." Marcus's eyes hardened. "Agreed. Next time she strikes, we don't just defend. We finish this. Would you stand with Marcus if this happened in your neighborhood? Share this story to show that veterans deserve respect, not punishment." Karen thought she had power, but she had underestimated what it meant to stand against a soldier and his brothers. The final showdown was coming, and this time there would be no escape for her. Karen Whitfield had lost the crowd at the cookout, but her obsession only grew stronger. She couldn't stand the idea that her authority was slipping away. By Monday morning, she was back in action. She printed dozens of flyers and stuffed them into mailboxes. Warning: dangerous men in our neighborhood. Former soldiers, intimidating families. Report all suspicious activity immediately. The language was harsh, designed to turn fear against Marcus and his brothers. But something unexpected happened. Instead of panicking, neighbors brought the flyers straight to Marcus. One woman shook her head. "This is disgusting. She's lying about you." A man added, "Karen's gone too far. You've done nothing but show respect. We're with you." Slowly, the tide turned. Instead of isolating Marcus, Karen was isolating herself. That evening, as the sun dipped low, Marcus sat on his porch with Hawk, Reyes, Doc, and Stone. "Flyers now?" Reyes said, holding one up. "She's desperate." "She's unraveling," Hawk agreed. "And desperate people make mistakes." Marcus leaned forward, his voice quiet but firm. "She's not just attacking me. She's attacking every veteran, every soldier who ever wore this uniform. Tomorrow we take this head on." Doc tilted his head. "How?" Marcus looked at them one by one. "We call a meeting. Not her, us, at the clubhouse. Open invite to every neighbor. We tell the truth. No more reacting. We take control of the narrative." Stone gave a single nod. "Mission plan. I like it." The next night, the clubhouse was packed again. Word had spread fast. This wasn't Karen's meeting. It was Marcus's. Karen stormed in late, face twisted with fury. "You can't just hold a meeting without HOA approval," she shrieked. Marcus stood at the front of the room, calm and collected. His camo jacket rested on his shoulders like a mantle of honor. His brothers stood at his side, solid as stone. "Actually, ma'am," Marcus said evenly, "this is a community meeting. And last I checked, I'm part of this community." The crowd applauded. Karen's face turned red. Marcus raised his voice so everyone could hear. "Neighbors, I called this meeting because enough is enough. Some of you have seen the flyers. Some of you have heard the accusations. So let me tell you the truth." He paused, scanning the room. "I wore this jacket in combat. I wore it when brothers fell beside me. I wore it when we bled so others could live. It is not a fashion choice. It is not intimidation. It is memory. It is honor. And I will not ever be ashamed of it." The room erupted in applause, louder than before. Marcus continued. "Karen says I'm dangerous, that my friends are dangerous. Let me ask you, have we hurt anyone here? Or have we stood with you, helped you, protected this community the way we protected our country?" Shouts of "yes" and "that's right" echoed across the room. Hawk stepped forward. "We're not here to scare anyone. We're here because Marcus needed us. And when one of us calls, we all answer. That's what brotherhood means. That's what service means." Doc added, "And let's be clear, no HOA, no clipboard, no flyer will ever erase that truth." Reyes raised his hand. "So maybe it's time to ask, who here wants rules used as weapons? And who wants rules used with respect?" Hands shot up across the room. Nearly everyone raised theirs. Karen was trembling now, her voice breaking as she shouted, "You can't do this! I'm the head of the HOA. I make the decisions here." But Ellen, the secretary, stood up again. "Not anymore, Karen. You've lost the trust of this community, and I move to have you removed from your position." The crowd cheered. Someone shouted, "Seconded!" Karen's eyes went wide. "You can't—" But the vote was already happening. One by one, neighbors raised their hands. The decision was clear, overwhelming. Karen's face collapsed in shock. She dropped her clipboard, the sound echoing like a gunshot in the silence. "You'll regret this," she whispered. Then, clutching her purse, she stormed out of the clubhouse for the last time. Silence lingered after she left. Then, slowly, the room turned back to Marcus. He felt the weight of dozens of eyes on him. And for once, he didn't feel like a soldier out of place. He felt like a man among his people. "Thank you," Marcus said softly. "Not for me. For every veteran who's ever been told to sit down, to be quiet, to disappear. Tonight you stood up for more than me. You stood up for respect." The room roared with applause. Later, as the crowd dispersed, Hawk clapped Marcus on the shoulder. "Mission accomplished." Reyes grinned. "And no casualties." Doc smiled. "Just one clipboard." Stone gave a rare chuckle. "Victory." Marcus laughed, the sound light and free. "Yeah, victory." For the first time in a long time, he felt at peace. He looked at his brothers and then at his neighbors. His new family. His new unit. And he knew one thing for sure. Karen had lost. But honor had won. If you believe no veteran should ever be silenced or disrespected, share this story. Let the world know freedom is never free. And those who serve deserve our thanks, not our scorn. Stand up, speak out, be part of the change.